Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My 26F, soon-to-be ex-husband, 30M, attempted suicide. We've been married for 3 years, together for 6 years. Thankfully no kids yet. 2 weeks ago, I found out that my husband was having an affair with his coworker for 2 or 3 months. I packed my bags and within 2 days, I had moved out of his house completely. I haven't filed for divorce yet. The thing is, he never said a word to me. When I confronted him, he just sat there quietly like a statue. It was super frustrating because he wasn't giving me an explanation, not even a simple "I did it because." I called him a loser and left the next day. I didn't reach out, he didn't either. I thought maybe he has already invited the coworker to live with him, now that the wife is finally out of the picture. His sister and I have always been super close and she called me recently. We chatted and I asked about him and the coworker, but she told me that he has been following his normal routine as far as she knows. She doesn't visit him that often, so she didn't know much about how he's been doing. Well, I was angry and super upset. I thought that maybe he's still seeing the coworker, but I had no one to confirm it. 2 days ago, he emailed me. It was long and confusing. I didn't gather much because it seemed his thoughts were all over the place and there were just so many grammar and spelling mistakes that I had to read some of the lines multiple times to understand them. My hunch is that he was drunk because he's very proficient in English, both speaking and writing. I only gathered a few things from the email, that he was sorry and he didn't want to ruin our marriage like this and that his affair had nothing to do with me and I was too good for him and whatnot. It all just seemed pathetic and I felt so disgusted by him. I wasn't planning on replying, but I ended up writing a short email back. I told him when I'll be filing the petition for divorce and that he should shove his excuses up his ass. In my defense, I was pissed and emotional. He didn't reply to that. I thought that was the end of it and went to sleep. His sister calls me sometime after 3 a.m. in the night and gives me the news. This woman tells me that he committed suicide by ingesting my Mills sleeping pills. I didn't believe it at first, but she's sobbing and screaming on the other side of the phone, so it was obviously real. To be honest, even now it feels like I'm in a dream. It just doesn't feel real. My Mill was the one who found him. He's in the hospital right now. I've been sitting in the same place for hours now. His sister didn't ask me to come, I didn't ask if I should visit. She gave me the news and hung up. I called her again in the morning, she told me she'd call me back but she hasn't yet. I didn't want to bother her so I didn't call again. I'm confused now. Should I go and visit him? Should I just stay where I am? I unofficially left him and his house 2 weeks ago. We haven't talked except for the emails. He did mention in the email that he had been feeling depressed, but I thought it was another one of his pathetic excuses for cheating. At times, I remember what he put me through and I feel angry and hurt again, but I obviously never wanted him to commit suicide. I'm not going to get back together with him either way. Our marriage is over for me, but I'm stuck. On one hand, I feel obligated to visit and take care of him, but on the other hand I feel like I have lost the right to do that because I left him and don't plan on going back. I don't have any friends to ask advice from, so here I am. Reddit, WTF do I do? TLDR, husband cheated, I left, didn't talk for 2 weeks. He emailed me and apologized. I told him to buzz off. He ingested his mom's sleeping pills. I feel obligated to take care of him. I also feel I've lost the right to do that. What do I do now? This similarly happened to my aunt and her now ex-husband. He tried to kill himself after cheating. He's severely handicapped now and they stayed together for several more years for what I assumed was guilt, but he was still a terrible person even in a wheelchair and continued to cheat on her once healed. She essentially became his home nurse/caregiver while he went behind her back. Ended up getting divorced anyway. Hope the best for you. JFC, what a nightmare. I'm glad your aunt got out finally. Op, don't see him. His family will try to guilt you into taking care of him / get back together, and you'll be stuck with a cheater, wasting your precious life with a cheater. That's not worth it. I applaud you for leaving him, and advise you to keep doing that. You don't owe him or his family anything. He needs to face the consequences of his actions. Neither the cheating nor the suicide attempt are your fault or something you have to take care of. Also, attempting suicide after being outed as cheater is more like a manipulation thing than regret. See, we read lots of posts of shitty cheaters or regular spas that weaponize suicide against their partners. And in the end, the one who gets shat on again and again are the people who stays with those manipulative assholes. Ugh, what an awful person. I'm glad they eventually got divorced. My ex attempted suicide after I left too. There was loads of abuse and I was a bit worried he was gonna harm me after, so it's a bit different. The hospital actually called me because I was his emergency contact when they got to the hospital. I confirmed that I was his spouse, that I still intended to divorce him, and that I wasn't willing to talk to him. In order to help my guilt, I did make myself available to doctors if they needed collateral information about his behavior prior to this incident. The best thing you can do for him is to help him move forward. The way forward for him, and his family, is without you. Which is the point. If he's so unwell that he attempted to complete suicide, then he's probably better off focusing on his recovery rather than seeing you right now. You would be a reminder of everything he did wrong that led to his actions. If however his actions were a manipulation tactic to get you to forget what he did by making you feel sorry for him, then going to see him would only reinforce that his behavior works, and you risk falling into a cycle of suicidal threats until you feel trapped. Tread carefully. Yes. I worked with suicide attempt patients in the ICU, and when they were related to relationship loss, then the ex would show up, get their hopes up, and then have to crush them all over again. You are in no way responsible for this attempt he took, nor any future actions. If you have no desire to work on the relationship, then continue as you have with minimal contact. Be advised you will probably fall out with his family, as their main concern here is making him feel better as quickly as possible, and they will see you as a key component. Ultimately and objectively, the best thing is to stay consistent with your behavior. Sorry you have had to endure so much in a short time. He made mistakes but was still your husband, so I'm sure you have really been hurting. Another part of his recovery will be to understand and accept the consequences of his actions. If Op shows up and he thinks his actions got him what he wants, this is not good for his recovery. I'm a psych nurse. My ex cheated but didn't attempt suicide. I caught him when I put a keylogger on my computer that he was using, and it logged everything he had been doing online. I printed out all the emails between him and the other woman. When my ex came home from work, I presented him with the evidence and demanded an explanation and an apology. I got neither. He sat there like a zombie and never uttered a word. To make things worse, he had to work the following Saturday. I was doing my laundry and saw that my ex had a couple of pairs of jeans on the floor by the washer, so I decided to wash those too. He always did his own laundry. When I checked his pockets, I found 2 hotel key cards. No information on them other than a Domino's pizza ad on one side, and the area code wasn't one I recognized. I called the Domino's and asked if there was a hotel nearby, and there was. When my ex came home from work and we sat down for dinner, I pulled out the key cards from my pocket and slid them over to him. I asked if he wanted to talk about it, and he said no. That's when I told him we were through and I wanted him to move out, which he did later. Duck people who cheat. Well, actually, don't duck people who cheat. I didn't even speak to my husband. He knew I knew by the time he got home, and I never spoke a word to him. I went out to a restaurant with an acquaintance for my birthday instead. He asked to talk one time only. I told him that every word would be a lie, and I stand by that. What would a discussion achieve after someone has cheated except to provide them with a platform for all the excuses they've been rehearsing? Cheaters are liars by definition. Your husband's actions are not your fault or responsibility. He chose to cheat. He chose to follow this action. Your role here is to take care of your own health and proceed with your divorce. Seek a therapist to help because it's likely emotions will overwhelm you in the coming days and weeks. Your husband has his own family and medical professionals at the hospital. Leave him be. How he moves forward is his choice, and he has these people to guide him. What a shitty thing to happen on your birthday. I mean, any time is shitty. You are right. Cheaters are liars by definition. On the other hand, if an ex, like mine, didn't say a word, I guess I can't call him a liar. Just a no-good cheating boss. Do you want to talk about it? And he says no? Not even an apology? To me, it means he's not sorry, just waiting for your next move. Glad you tossed him. To be cheated on is sad. Starts with knowing something is wrong, then investing time to find out, then dealing with the reality once the cheating is confirmed. And then these people have nothing to say? Keep tossing and walking, ladies. If they don't care enough to at least apologize for their deceitful behavior, they should be in the rear view. An apology would mean guilt. That's probably one reason my ex kept his mouth shut. It wouldn't have mattered if he apologized or not. As soon as I saw the emails between him and the other woman, it was over between us. Update: my 26F, soon-to-be ex-husband, 30 meters, attempted suicide NSFW original post. I want to thank everyone who gave me advice on my previous post. I probably would have done something stupid had many of you not guided me. Many people mentioned how my presence would make matters worse, so I decided to not go. Instead, I dropped a message to his sister that she mustn't hesitate to call me if she or my mother-in-law need help with anything. I did mention in the message that it would be better if I don't visit or meet him for his own sake. She called me after a while and we had a long chat. There was a chance that he might have to pay a fine because attempted suicide is punishable in our country, but as of now, he only needs to be rehabilitated once he's out of the hospital. He should be fine. His sister told me some technical stuff, but it's all blurry in my head right now and I can't seem to remember it properly. It's a lot to take in and I'm having a hard time organizing my thoughts. Apparently, he broke it off with the woman he was having an affair with after I had left. The woman reached out to me a few days back. She apologized for the mess and said that she'll remove herself from the situation. I don't intend on replying back to her. I know I'm going to lose my shit if I talk to her. His sister also requested me to wait a little longer before filing for divorce and give him some time. I agreed because him and his family are going through a lot and I don't mind waiting a little longer. I asked her if she blamed me for his attempt, and she admitted that, for a while, she did think if I hadn't left maybe none of this would have happened, but she understands why I did what I did and I'm not responsible for his actions. I told her I was grateful to her for being so understanding when everything was so chaotic. Other than her, a few relatives also called me up and asked me to move back in his house, because men slip up sometimes and I should forgive him, but I shut them down and made it clear that I'm not going to do that for my own sake and for my husband's sake as well. I'm not going to take him back just because he's a man and it's okay for him to slip up, while if the roles would have been reversed here these same people would have cussed me into oblivion. As for me, I think I'll try out therapy. Also try to reconnect with old friends and go out of the house more. Last year, I made a list of historical places I wanted to visit in my city. I suppose I'll start with that. Again, thank you to you all helpful and kind people. Have a good day. TLDR, messaged his sister, she called me back, husband will be rehabilitated, coworker gave a whack apology, annoying relatives told me to move back, I shut them down, I'm going to try therapy and get out of the house more, hopefully odds are in my favor. Men slip up sometimes and I should forgive him. I imagine those same relatives wouldn't extend you the same grace. I'm glad you're doing what's best for you. Your soon-to-be ex-husband seems to be in self-destruct mode and only he can pull himself away from that spiral. You are not responsible for his actions. Yeah, the double standards. Ugh. People who say stuff like that inherently come off as hypocrites. Did the right thing, op, this is not on you at all. Therapy is a good start. Begin rebuilding your life and file for divorce when you are good and ready. I am sorry this happened to you. Nobody deserves to be in this situation. It sounds like you are making all the right decisions on your behalf, all the way up to putting his needs above your desire to be there physically at all. 2 to 3 months is unfortunately just too long of an affair to be reconciled, in my opinion, and the divorce is simply inevitable. If he felt true remorse for your sake, he would have opened up sooner or been more honest at the confrontation. I believe he is currently working through his own sorrow for himself, and he's acted on his own self-pity. This was not because of you. This was despite you. This was, despite your devotion to the marriage, him acting on his own self-pity from the affair to the suicide attempt. Therapy is really the only suggestion on his behalf, but please stay vigilant in your self-worth while navigating this difficult situation. I'm so glad OP is looking out for themselves first and foremost here. They're completely blameless and will be much better off when they've fully extracted themselves from the whole situation. Lol at the pathetic relatives pretending cheating is cool just cause their husbands cheat on them. Op, you did the right thing. This isn't just a slip up. He was cheating for several months and he only ended it because you found out, otherwise he would have continued to cheat on you. You are acting in a healthy way, putting your needs first. Go to therapy, reconnect with friends, and build your support network. Anyone telling you to get back with him because it's the right thing to do or to forgive because men slip up is garbage and not a good supporting person. As a mental health advocate myself, you are not responsible for the emotions and reactions of others based on how they reacted to your actions and behaviors. Having an affair for 2 or 3 months is not slipping up, it's cruel and consistent deception. Apologies if triggering, but I'm familiar with this pain and it just sucks. If he'd done it just the once, his relatives might have a point and you might go back to him, but it's up to you. Your relationship, your decision. As far as the suicide attempt goes, he should seek professional help. You did absolutely the right thing, Op. However, does someone else find it terrifying that suicide is still illegal in some countries? Imagine surviving the most vulnerable moment of your life just for a fine to be added to your fat bag of problems. Damn. If you don't mind, Op, where is your home country? Literally, that was the thing that jumped out most to me. I was like, what? I was told that suicide is criminalized so law enforcement can break into someone who may be attempting to stop them and get them medical help. I didn't know they actually had fines or anything else like that. Well, officers are allowed to break and enter if they believe someone's life is in danger. Regardless of if it's suicide or, let's say, a diabetic having a fit, etc., etc. I was told this at a presentation in school, and I don't live in the US, so it's just a different legal system, I guess. I'm curious to know where Op lives. I'm in the UK actually. But yeah, it could definitely be different depending on where you live and what the legislation allows. Malaysia punishes it with a fine or imprisonment. Could be it. Lebanon punishes it anywhere from 3 months to 5 years though. WTF? Is anyone Lebanese so they confirm? This Google search was a rabbit hole. I'm pretty sure it's punishable in the United States. You did the right thing, Op. I hope everything goes well for you. Also, don't backpedal with the divorce. I'm so sorry. My ex-husband had an affair for 6 months, and when I left him, he became suicidal. I had to call them to do a wellness check on him. I still worry he has suicide ideation and will go through with it one day. I cannot and do not want to go back, but I still don't want him to die and still care for him as a friend. I would be devastated if he ever tried. If you want to talk, please DM me. You have a good head on your shoulders, Op. Hope things keep looking up for you. Attempted suicide is punishable in our country. I googled this until that there are about 20 countries where it's illegal to attempt suicide as a way to deter people from doing it. I don't even know what to say to that. Great choices. The family is ducked up to say men slip up sometimes like it's going to happen, so you're just going to have to live with it. they suck. Best of luck in your new life. His sister also requested me to wait a little longer before filing for divorce and give him some time. I agreed because he and his family are going through a lot and I don't mind waiting a little longer. I get it, but don't wait too long. If you let too much time pass, they could guilt trip you. I mean, when will be the right time? When he'll be out of the hospital, he'll need to rest at home, then he'll need to accommodate himself to his new reality, then he'll need to maybe have therapy, etc, etc, etc. This could take a long time. Please don't wait too long. 100% focus on you and find yourself a lawyer. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, in addition to his previous actions. Props to you for standing up for yourself against his relatives. Agree with therapy. You really are stronger than you think. Don't back down, /throw a suicide low. Your best is yet to come. His choices are not your responsibility. Keep reminding yourself. I'm glad you're refusing to go back and standing up for yourself. Your other plans sound excellent to me. I'm not going to dive into your situation as a whole since it's a lot and all the things that came into my mind have already been said. I just wanted to comment that I'm very impressed and excited about your list of historical sites in your city. This is exactly the right path for you right now, to do things that bring you joy and happiness. It's actually a great superpower to learn to enjoy your own interests and dive into them, whether you do it with someone else or alone. For me, alone time with my own hobbies is the best. So listen to yourself, dig deep and find those bits and parts that you really like and want to be a bigger part of your life. Now is the exact time for that. Good luck. Suicide is illegal? What are they going to do? Execute you? Just curious what the laws are. Punish you if you survive, punish your family if you succeed. Damn. If I'm telling you to go back to him cause men slip up sometimes, there's such a load of shit. He cheated on you and you should go back cause he made a mistake. Y'all are literally married and he did that. Even if you weren't, you shouldn't go back, and good that you didn't and aren't. That's kinda short of them to suggest such a thing. They should be on the side. Just because he made a decision like the one he made or whatever dumbass double standard they're going off of, that's not her problem either way. Such bad advice for them to give. It's more like 2 cents cause it wasn't something they shouldn't have even suggested. I'm glad you're going your own way. Sounds like a him problem. I read till I saw he was having an affair. Didn't care if he attempted or not after that. I sound heartless, but even if you're just dating, let alone married, it's a break of sacred trust to cheat. If you cheat once, you're always a cheater. No excuses for it. Hope her life gets better. I may be unpopular here, but before you divorce, calm down because being emotional can be dangerous. Also, at least talk to him before the divorce, which may bring closure or something. Like everyone else has said, it sounds like you are making the best possible decisions for yourself. I just want to add that I find your insight and strength inspiring. There is no doubt that shit is going to be rough for a while, but I had to guess based on your attitude about this whole thing, everything is going to end up just fine in the end. But hang in there in the meantime. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.